know where you're going to be. You've locked in your future.
Yeah, it's awesome. I'm just really excited that I get to lock in here for another 7 years, and as I said from the start, I didn't want any other outcome. I love it here, I love the place, and I love the people here, and I just can't wait for what's in store in the future.
How does your family feel when you're not going back home to Victoria?
They've always sat on my side, and they understand that I've built a life for myself up here, and that I really enjoy, and have really enjoyed all of my time in Brisbane. So, while it can be a little bit hard for them to get up and visit at times because you've got the flight and then the drive, they make every chance, or take every chance that they can to get up here and visit me, and nothing's going to change there. I'm always going to make sure that I head back, and I'm a big family person, so I'll give them as much time as I can, but they're very understanding at the same time.
Hugh, it's obviously like your last big contract in terms of length. How much consideration do you take from the rival offers that you got?
To be honest, I didn't take much at all. I didn't entertain anything. I think I've been pretty open and honest from the start, even at the end of last year, with all the media, but also all the conversations that I was having within the four walls of the footy club and with everyone outside that's close to me. It was all around staying here and hanging around and what we can achieve in the short, medium and long term here. So it wasn't something that I looked at.
It must be, despite that, it must be flattering as a player to have interest from around the competition when and be so in demand at this stage of your career.
Yeah, yes and no. I mean, that's the modern day landscape of AFL. We've done it ourselves. We've gone after players from other clubs, and we've been successful in that with guys like Lockie and Link and Joe coming to our club and making it a better place. You can't just rely solely on the draft in the AFL these days. So it's part and parcel with what happens, and while it is something that happens, and you've got to look at those sort of things. It wasn't, for me, it wasn't part of the decision-making process.
So prospect of being a one-club player, does that motivate you at all?
Definitely does, yeah. I think when you first begin playing AFL, first and foremost, you just want to cement your spot and your place in the AFL world and play consistent footy. And so that was the first thing I focused on when I got here. But as soon as that had happened, it was always something that I wanted, was to be a one-club player and be loyal. And I think clubs invest so much in players from a young age, especially Brisbane, when everyone moves away from home, away from Victoria or wherever it may be. Not just the people within the club, but so many people outside the club as well, fans, supporters and the like, to make you feel comfortable and make you feel at home. So I feel like you owe it to the club and the people to repay that faith, and hopefully I can be that sort of mentor and person for our young boys in the future.
How much does familiarity play a part in it? Obviously, when you came to the club, Chris Fagan came to the club as well, and having that knowledge of the club instead of seeking to go elsewhere.
I couldn't imagine anything other than playing under Fags, because I've been under him for the whole time, and it's something that I've loved. I mean, it's pretty incredible how quickly we jumped from a place where in my first year or two we weren't having too much on-field success and winning many games at all, to pushing consistently for top 8, top 4 and making a grand final last year. It's been a great ride, and I still think that there's plenty of good times left. So that's all that I really wanted in the next part of my career, is to hopefully do that and experience some more good times with the people that I know here, and the people that I've built really strong connections with.
Locked in for another 7 years, 166 games. What's your next goal?
Individually, I'm not someone that really looks too much at the result or the end game. I'm more so worried on here and now, and for me it's probably just the consistency. I think I've prided myself on that over the past 4 or 5 years, making sure that I don't have too many ups and downs and lapses in games, and it's maybe something that has been a little bit off at the start of this year. So I just want to get back to that, and I just want to keep improving as a person and as a player, and if I do that, then I'm sure that the next 7 years will be successful for myself and for the club.
How much did wanting to play under Chris Fagan into the future play into the decision?
Yeah, a lot. He's as I said before, he's the only coach I've known, and I absolutely love playing under him. He's a realist. He always looks at the facts, and he creates an environment where we have fun and we enjoy each other's company, but we also work really hard to try and get better. And not only is he a good football coach, I think he's just a great person and a great mentor, and I've learnt so much from him, not just on the field but off the field as well, outside of footy, that I'll be forever indebted to him for that. And I look forward to learning from him for some time yet.
You got a couple of good guys at the top at the moment, but is captaincy on your radar at all at some stage?
Yeah, a little bit like what I said in my last question. It's not something that I'm thinking about chasing, but at the same time, I'm trying to get better as a leader every single day, and I think that if I can do that, then it's something that I could achieve in the future. At the same time, I think Harris and Lockie are doing an amazing job, and I'm happy just sitting under them and learning at the minute, and you never know what the future can hold.
When you say you've taken away a lot of lessons from Fagan on field and off field, what type of influences you had on your off field?
Probably just his ability to be so calm in every single situation, his ability to keep things in perspective. This week I'm wearing this M&D beanie, and he's really close to Neil, and he's always just bringing up things like that to make sure that you don't get too carried away with what's going on out in the field and the media and the the other things that can come with that when you might not think you're going so well. Just taking things back to life and the bigger picture, he's really taught us how to do that well. There's been times where people are struggling and I'm struggling myself, and he'll have you over for dinner, or he'll just throw an arm around you. And for someone that's a head coach that has to look after so many people and worry about so many different things in all facets of his own life, to do that for other people is pretty special. And he's a contact that I'll definitely have for the rest of my life, and he'll be someone that I can bounce ideas off and lean on for sure.
How do you turn this season around? You've had a week to think about it. What's the refocus heading into this Friday night?
Yeah, it's been good to reset. I think it's come at a good time for us. I don't think we need any drastic changes. We don't need to reinvent the wheel. We looked at some stats yesterday, and the major statistics and the key indicators that we look at aren't too dissimilar to what they've been in the last couple of years. We're just not quite connecting and executing when we go inside 50 and when we're kicking for goal as well, which makes a big difference. And there's a couple of other little areas that we can tidy up as well. But we've looked at everything. We haven't shied away from the things that we do need to work on, but we're not going to change things overly. We've played some really good sides. We've been in games for the most part, barring probably the Giants game and the Hawks game. We let ourselves down in big patches, but we're not too concerned. We just need to make sure that this week we come out and get back to playing really consistent good footy.
Talk about statistics. Looking at stats, lost the last 3 out of 4. How much do you buy into that?
Yeah, you've got to look at it, and you've got to. We discussed areas for improvement as leaders yesterday, but at the same time, you've got to be real about things, and you've got to look at the raw numbers, and that they're saying that while we've lost those 3 games, we actually have played, some decent footy in patches. So you're always going to lose games, and teams are always going to go through ebbs and flows. And if you get too down on that, and if you try and change things over and over again, then it's not going to work. And we've learnt that in the past. You just got to stay true to what you do and what you do well. If the things that we hang our hats on were all going terribly, then it'd probably be a different story. But that's not the case right at the minute. So we've just got to stick with it. And it is in the back of your mind. It can be tough when you are losing games and you're not quite sitting with a record that you want to be sitting at. But it's the industry we're in. It's really tough. There's a lot of good sides, and we've just got to stick to what we do because we know it's worked in the past.
You quickly touched on it with the beanie. You pump it out every year, that beanie. I see that on your head all the time. Every year. What does that cause mean to you now? You mentioned what it means to Fags, but what about you? Yeah,
it means a lot to us. I've done my fair share of charity work in the past, and just to see what Neil does in with his ability to put the battle that he's going through to the side and try and find solutions and answers and help other people is a lesson that I think all of us can learn from. And he's just a great role model for everyone. We go out there and play footy and can sometimes think that the world's caving in on us, but there's so many bigger things in life than footy, and this is just one example of that. So we're really proud to be able to put our money towards this cause alongside Fags, and I think the AFL does a really good job at supporting it, and the M&D Foundation goes without saying. It's an amazing foundation and they do some great work.
Didn't want to put your hand up to do the big phrase and get
Not quite. No, I haven't actually done it yet, but I think they had one at the Gabba, so I'm not sure if that's going ahead again, but maybe one day.
Just looking at the Bulldogs, they're down a few troops as well coming into the weekend. What's going to be the key to beating them?
They're going really well. I think they play quite a similar brand to us. They try and lock the ball in their forward half, and so like every week, contested ball and clearance battle is going to be really important against them. Try and get the supply to our forwards and limit the supply to their forwards, and put in simple terms, that's probably going to be the battle.
Is there anyone in particular you're eyeing for the weekend?
It's hard in terms of players for them. It's tough because they've got so many good players, and every midfield now has guys that can take the game away from you just like that. So they're no different. Obviously, Bontempelli's in great form, and you have to keep an eye on that. But he can go forward, and then other guys like Treloar and the like step up and play that role as well. So we need to focus on what we do well, and we know that at our best we have a really good midfield that can compete with every midfield in the competition.